Hey, do you hate your job? Do you hate your life? Good, get into high ticket closing.
Training is something that you do, not that you have done in the past. Learning is eternal, it's infinite.
Oh, that guy is absolute shit. Like, I am better than him.
You're not. Fuck you, you're not. You're not, simply. Fuck your ego on the side.
What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Dynasty Podcast. Today we're going to talk about the lies you've been told as a high ticket closer in the high ticket closing industry and how it's keeping you mediocre. So Brian today, June today, I'm the better looking co-host. And then we have Bogdan, as you saw in the previous episode. So we'll get into it. How you guys doing?
I love the opener, first of all. The 9 p.m. news. Like, we're gonna be scandalous today, you know?
There we go.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
But why are you shouting?
I don't know.
Like, what?
Yeah,
What's the reason,
shouting.
man? What's the reason? You
Yeah.
want to follow
We're
the...
just exhibiting presence here, displaying that.
I
You
mean,
know, friends hate me because whenever we go out to restaurants or cafes or wherever, they all say like, Brian, dude, you're so fucking loud.
This guy talks something very nasty and he's like embarrassing all of us, but that's why I love you though.
no, I think he's just trying to establish dominance
Of course.
on the table, you know?
He's not submissive, you know?
Of course. So let's get into the heart of the matter. So Bogdan, in your opinion, what's the biggest lie in the high ticket closer industry that's not actually helping people, it's costing them more sales in their progression in their career?
Oh, there are so many.
Okay, what's the biggest one?
That is easy. That is super easy to make money. You know? Yeah, it's infinite, no capped way of earning, because if you're only commissions, as much work you put into it, as much you will earn. As good you are, more you will earn. But that lies that were created, probably that started like 2018, something like that, when high ticket closer attribute was created there. You will see it. Yeah, maybe 2018, 2019, 2020 was applying, but nowadays, no. Why I'm saying it's a lie? Because I see many of the, let's say, new coming sales reps. They are expecting to be making a ton of money without putting a ton of work. How does it work? Tell me. Like, I don't see Elon Musk putting less work to be making more money. In fact, he works more. He delegates more. He's expanding operation. He invests more. So how do you expect to actually succeed in this super competitive market nowadays if you don't stand out with efforts, you don't stand out with skills, you don't stand out with resilience, with persistence, and no matter how many times you're knocked down, to actually stand up and show up in front of everyone. I mean, that's something that it really gives me that sour feeling inside when I see people with potential are just being lazy because they were taught they should go a certain route, which is not really productive now at the moment.
100%. Because high ticket closing or remote closing, inbound closing, sideways closing, whatever this market these days is interesting because it's a profession, but it's marketed as some sort of cool business model. Where, hey, be on the beach, in your pajamas, on your laptop, call 5 warm calls a day, and warm leads ready to buy. You just answer a few questions, read your script, and you'll make 20 grand a month. But it doesn't work like that.
No, man, that's the whole thing. They put a label on it called high ticket closer.
Yeah.
Like I said the other day, the only thing that you're closing is the door or the window. You're not closing a shit. Like, simple. It's easy. Call yourself sales professional. And when you call yourself sales professional, it demands that title of you to act professionally. Be professional. And what professional people do? Everything that is necessary. To be a professional athlete means to be paid from doing sports. Just take an example. What professional athletes do? Do they train every day?
Of course.
Yes. Do they have bunch of coaches around them to keep them accountable. One for physical endurance, one for technical, tactical part, one for mindset, one for recovery. Do they pay them? Yes. Do they need to show up on every game, no matter if they have a fever or not? Yes. They have a broken leg, they compete. Yes. So don't tell me you had a fucking flu and you abandoned, you ghosted all of your calls that you had that day. That's a professional. Closer sounds more cool, right? Sounds very cool. And because sales reps, or if you say like I'm in sales, it was labeled back in time like something not such a cool profession or something bad. People have a perception and they want to present themselves high ticket closer.
Yep.
I guarantee you that the serious companies, employers that are actually hiring closers or sales reps, they hate the term high ticket closer.
Yep.
I'm talking about the serious ones. The not serious one, they're in the same shit. That's why they struggle. If you go for an interview and you present yourself, oh, I'm a high ticket closer. I have been in high ticket closing space. What the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Show me what you can do. Let's see how dedicated you are to the cause of the company in increasing revenue. And that doesn't mean only sales, right? You need to go beyond that. If you want to really actually stand out in the crowd, have a better offers, be respected more, which the side effect will going to be making more money.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to give some context for new people that are tuning in that haven't seen Bogdan before. So Bogdan's gotten to a point in his career where now he's starting to close 100K, 200K pips, right? So like 10, 15K commission per sale. So it's not like random people talking. But I remember, June, when we first met from the ClickFunnels Facebook group, I remember messaging you. It's like, you're like, oh, so are you like a high ticket closer? Because I wasn't even in sales back then. And you hated it. It's like, yeah, I don't really like that name. So why do you not like that name?
I mean, the same reason also. The ones that all you gotta be a professional. I have a definition of it. So I asked a student actually, what's their definition of a professional? He said, just all the abstract, sound good type of stuff, like showing up every single day, being better 1% every single day. But I believe that's just the default. That's just the default. Yeah, I know, the entry barrier is low, so no one really does that. But I believe that you need to develop an edge, though, outside of doing things that no one would want to do to cultivate that skill set. One good example is posting content. Really, just documenting your journey. Hey, I had this type of call today and it didn't work out. Just keep on posting, or just showing your journey and showing it's not easy, showing it's also it can be possible also.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I tell people to do also. It's yourself cultivating your edge, because I don't think 0.01% even post their content, for example. That's just one example of being professional. You're being kept accountable, but you're also showing to business owners, showing to other peers that you're willing to be honest about your results as well. And I mean, those are traits of being a professional, doing things that no one would want to be doing, at the end of the day, cultivating your own edge, where you're dominating the industry eventually, because that edge gives you that 1%, better chance to get better opportunities, or even attract your own opportunities, right?
I mean, if you have a lot of time to be posting content and to be very much on social media, probably you're not doing something right. You're not utilizing the time towards something that is called money-making activities, which what we need to be. If you are already hitting your KPIs, making the money that satisfies your budget or something else, and you have time to actually put some extra to share your journey and absolutely right, it's absolutely fine. Yeah. But if you are struggling making a buck and you blame the leads, you blame the marketing why they didn't give you, and you're posting content, probably you're not doing something enough. You're not doing it long enough. But it's a great point what you said. What is that extra mile that I need to walk today to actually separate myself from the rest of the people? Give me one example. Back in time when I was professionally training and competing, I was in such a good environment.
Training for what? For people to understand.
So I was training. I was competing in karate, like
Right.
fighting sports for 20 years,
Yep.
right? And I had a kind of a decent success with it. And I had that success in it because I was surrounded with people that were hungry for success, like absolutely. And it was a very healthy competition between us to actually become better. And karate is individual sports, right? It's very easy to fall into the ego game, comparing it with each other. But the healthy competition was simple like this. If the coach give us, we need to make 1,000 sit-ups right now in the moment. When I come to 1,000, I will make 1,001. And then I see my colleague 1,001, 1,002. Then I try to do more and more until we fail. Unconscious, it's the point. So that was like I was using as a baseline, like, okay, what can I do now? Not to show that I'm better than my colleague, but what I can do now to actually push myself extra mile, suffer that pain, but have a bigger results. And people do not understand that. I have been working with people that you cannot get them out of the comfort zone, and all they do is whining like a little bitches that they're not making enough money.
Yep.
Yeah. And I have a question for you, Brian, because now you have a school community, you're coaching a few people also. But what I want to ask you is how shockingly the entry barrier is so low for closers to actually make it in a way also.
Entry barriers is low because what happens is you scroll through Instagram and you get an ad from a 20-year-old saying like, hey, do you hate your job? Do you hate your life? Good. Get in touch to get closing. So that's
what I'm also referring to is the attitude of closers most of the time, or like actually people that think they're good but they're not actually good also. But actually, like for example, people that think they're making decent money but they're not actually. Like the entry barrier for me, it seems like so low in a way because like I'm in the point where I'm honestly kind of sick and tired of closers being so non-proactive, but what's your take on that?
That's an interesting thing about salespeople because I sold to salespeople for a year and a half, right? And Bogdan, I know you have your take on this too. Is that salespeople? It's an interesting paradox because in one part they're kind of feeling not that confident with their numbers, but the other part is that they try to mask it with a sense of ego and they think they're a lot better than they are. Kind of like how guys think they're a lot better at picking up girls at the bar, but in reality they're not. It's kind of like a similar concept that I found. And so with the high ticket closers or like salespeople, whatever you want to call it, is so during the no show they have like 5 book call in the calendar, right, for the day, and then they have like maybe like 60% show up rate. So they have, let's say it's an 8-hour workday, which is a normal, it's not crazy, right? It's not a 10-hour workday. It's not a 12-hour workday. It's a normal 8-hour workday. So in reality, they're working like 2 or 3 hours a day. But they think like they're working 10 hours a day because they're sitting at their desk for 10 hours a day. So the question becomes, what are they doing for the other 8 hours that day?
Commenting on posts on Facebook and acting smart.
Yeah, or that Zoom call. It's like, networking, it was so great to connect with Jack Smith. And then take a photo.
Peace sign.
Yeah.
They need to really reconsider, this is something that they want to do? Because it requires work. It's easier to get a corporate job. And you will have 8-hour shift. You may hide yourself behind the screen. If you have some private office there around and just, work. If there is no work today, you just play solitaire on your computer or just stalk girls on Tinder. Like, get a corporate job. This is performance-based work. It depends on your fucking performance. There is no retainer that someone is paying you. So if you have 8 hours separated a day and you're actively working for 3 hours, what are you, another 5 hours? Where they at?
Part-time job.
Get another fucking offer.
Yep.
Jump on another, if that's something. Put something in place to make money. Learn something. Get another mentorship. Get another coaching. Get different perspective. Learn another language, for God's sake. If you're planning to get into, enterprise selling or something else, you need to learn that vocabulary. It's not the same that you're using on the street when you're selling newspapers. So get educated on that part. Be productive consistently. When you finish that one, go and do whatever you want.
100%. Yeah. A common thing I see is people mix up during their selling hours. That's your golden time, right? Especially, and I understood that because I rarely sold in American time zone, and I always sold to US leads, and so I only had a window of time that I could add to capitalize on. So I guess in that part I had an advantage because like I was a disadvantage, but I was like, okay, so I need to capitalize on that because the American guys on the sales team, they're like, they could call lead anytime. But I'm like, no, there's only like a finite amount of time I could sell them on. So during the time, whenever I got a no-show, I was immediately calling the leads that were booked in the next day and then bring them forward now. Right? Let's say today's Monday, this person no-showed. I call them, text them, email. They still don't answer. I'm going to call people. Let's say the farthest booked out is Thursday. I call the Thursday person. Hey, man, so my previous appointment wrapped up early. You just want to talk now? And I just bring them forward. I do that with every lead. So now I would have just had a no-show with a dick in my hand. But now I have an at-bats. I can actually talk to this person. I can sell them. And I was closing deals during no-shows when everyone else on my team was watching YouTube. So that's why, yes, other people could be more skilled than you, but during that activity, what else are you gonna do? Watch YouTube and do nothing, or are you gonna do something?
Yesterday, I had a very good meeting with one of my very dear colleagues. We used to work on a same account. He was one of the heads of the account. After that, extremely very good as a sales manager, leading of a sales team or something else. We usually want to catch up and just update ourselves on the stuff, how it is. And he told me something that literally, I was in awe. I was like, what's going on? He was like, I hired a rep. He went through 3 interviews, great offer, great owners. I vouch for him personally. He got onboarded. The first day, he has like around 7 calls booked on his calendar. And he literally ghosted all of them. And he left. He didn't show up on the calls.
The salesperson?
A salesperson. Why? You tell me, man. So you see what is happening. So that's the whole thing. You're begging for a job. There is someone that have your back, helped you to jump on that offer, being there, and on the first day, because I don't see a reason why not to show up. The only reason that I see for you not showing up there is you are fucking retarded. You know?
Yep.
When are you going to get another offer? Nowhere. And then you will sit down in front of your Facebook, on your Instagram, and cry like a baby that the owners are bad, that the lead flow is bad, that you cannot make more money, and all your occupation is going to be just commenting on people's posts. You had the chance to prove yourself, to come forward. You got it. Why would you just disappear, missing in action? And in case, if you changed your mind for some reason, last moment, wouldn't it be more fair to actually call up a meeting and say like, listen, I really appreciate this. Something came up. I wouldn't be able to take out. Call your colleagues that are on the sales team, reschedule the calls, transfer the calls to the other sales reps that are there. The company is not suffering. You have done everything to mitigate that loss of you not showing up there, and just come out clean. How hard is that? So you see what is happening in the market, right? Then I got some different information that majority of the people, they don't want to do the work that is necessary. Oh, but I'm showing up and I'm having a close. Yeah, that's your job.
Yep.
What makes you different than the rest? Why should I give you more opportunities? Right? It's your job to do this, to show up. That's the only thing that you need to do. Why are you not showing up? I don't get that. Like, that's the funny part.
Yep.
Like, I cannot mentally comprehend the reasoning behind that. I had a conversation with one of my clients the other day as well, and he was like, man, I don't know. I see some people are making more money than me. Yeah, but they work a little bit harder than me. And I was like, oh, okay. Now you have your reason. They make more money than you, but they work harder than you. So why are you complaining? Why are you even mentioning it? Don't compare yourself with them. Are you putting 100%? No. Okay. Put it. Put the hard work in, and that's it. Like I don't understand that lie that we started the podcast with. It's easy. It's damaging a lot of people.
Yep.
It's damaging them because that's what is they're presented with.
Yep.
And it's not their fault why they're behaving like that. That's what is presented. That's way of thinking. And the ego, when it bursts there, okay, now you're not making money. Cool. Of course you're not making money.
It makes sense, cause and effect, right? Like you're talking to two people a day, especially when you first get into the end. Here's where, dude, I saw this one video from a very famous guru in the internet marketing space, and he's now doing a sales biz up, right? He's now doing a program, a course, helping people get into high ticket closing. And he was saying, yeah, so high ticket closing is pretty simple. You talk on people on Zoom, you can master sales within 14 days. And I was my blood pressure was fucking boiling. I'm like, master sales within 14 days. What a fucking load of horseshit. Dude, like even look at like your favorite sales gurus right now. It took them fucking years to get better at sales. Like 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Right? And so people don't see like the journey per se, so people think it's easy. You can be an objection handling god. Like your tonality is gonna be so beautiful like butter. Like have the best questions like after 90, it doesn't work, it takes time. Something Matt Ryder told me as well. He's like, dude, it took me 10, 12 years to get better at objection handling. Before that, I fucking sucked. Yeah. And so he's like, well, what are you gonna do in the meantime? He said, well, are you gonna just wait until then to make the money you wanna make, or are you gonna do something else? And so I took that advice very, very seriously when he said, track your data, do your activity during no-shows, don't have your dick in your hand, call lead, outbound leads, follow up with people, upsell, generate referrals, and just do that, right? And have a good process for it, develop a good process. I was only the very few people that took that seriously because it's boring, right? It's boring. And so a lot of people didn't do that, but I took that seriously, and that's really big part of the reason why I became number 2 at 7th level out of 15 to 20 all-star killer savage closers in my first full year in sales. So that's what gives you a cheat code and an edge, like June said. So you gotta make up for it with something.
Yeah. June, how long it took you to actually become decent in sales?
Actually, I think one of our students sent me a screenshot. It was an old YouTube video of me giving a testimonial to another high ticket closer. Yeah. It's in the he's typed in June Choi, and a video of me 6 years ago popped up.
Yeah.
When I was like basically like looking all like young, like a kid.
Asian James Bond.
Yeah, like how you Zara, like this suit also from Zara, you know. And I'm just basically I was saying like maybe I started this like way back than I thought. But overall, I got a job like literally like 4.5 years ago.
Yeah,
that's where I started, and I keep on telling people I really sucked. And the reason why you guys would not want to hear this is the reason why it's difficult is because this is not like just one thing. It's like MMA. You have to adopt everything. Like it's not like you have to be good at karate. You have to be good at karate and wrestling and like boxing all at the same time.
And to have the physical conditioning.
Exactly. You have to also
have the mindset for it.
Exactly.
And you have the resilience. Everything.
You have to be good at it's not just one thing. You have to be good at follow-ups, objections, pre-handling objections, discovery, right? And you have to, what drives me crazy nowadays is I'm teaching people how to get offers because I sucked. I had to get 17 different offers, right? Like the amount of interviews that I've gone through, like it's tremendous though. I put in the numbers and I ask people, oh, I only have 2 calls booked and I have 1 no-show. Okay, but you have 8 hours booked out. Like, what do you do? Like, do you do outbounds? No, I don't do outbounds. Okay, do you try to get a second offer? I try to get so what do you mean by try? And then they're like, I guess like apply on Facebook. So how many have you applied during the last 3 months? They're like 0.
Yep.
Dude, like, I mean, numbers negate luck. We talk about that all the time. Like, if you only gotten 0 interviews during the last 3 months, how are you expecting yourself to get a job? Like, how are you expecting yourself to give yourself an opportunity? Like, proactivity is so much lacking. Like, people just want to get fed, as you said, inbound leads. But that mentality is fucking up a lot of guys. Now, inbound leads, like closing only just with inbound leads, that season is dead now in this market.
It is dead, and people need to understand very clearly. Listen, just listen, fucking this. the marketing, the lead flow will going to drop sooner or later. The problems the marketing team will going to have will be there consistently, month after month, season after season. It's not gonna be consistent. It's not because the marketing team sucks. Sometimes they do, many times they do, but because technology is changing, right? And algorithms are changing. And Facebook is changing, and Meta, all these type of things is changing. Google, the algorithms are changing. So it will drop down until they figured it out how they can fix some other things came around. So you being willing to actually hope and pray that something will going to be served you as a food on your table without you going and hunting for the food, just make you a fool. Like literally. Be realistic with what is out there. You mentioned very clearly, it's like an MMA. It's all aspects there if you really want to be in the top 1%. And it's not going to take 14 days. It's not going to take 30 days. It's going to be consistent, eternal learning. I have had some decent success in sales and making good amount of money, right? I still remind myself I'm not the best that I could possibly be. I remind myself not to push myself down, but I'm realistic with me. There are so many elements that I'm still working on, and you're working on, and everyone is working on. Training is something that you do, not that you have done in the past. Learning is eternal. It's infinite. We always have space for new learnings. That takes me to another point. You cannot expect that only one style of sales, one coach that you have followed, and that's the only thing because they convince you to.
Yeah.
There's so many aspects there that needs to be covered for you to be progressing. One type, it may take you to 20K a month. If you're not satisfied with 20K a month, then you will need to start implementing something different to take you to 30. There's something different to take you to 50. There's something different to take you to 80, right? And if someone caught a golden era on a good offer and has smashed it for 6 months, that doesn't mean that will going to work anywhere like else that he's going to be there. Yeah. So if someone is presenting you results based on limited resources in a limited industry within a limited with a limited time frame in 2020, well, things have changed, dear. And most of those people, they're not even selling anymore. They're selling to you guys that are trying to get good in sales. But they're not selling, they're not in the weeds to actually understand the buyer's market right now at the moment. As prospects have become smarter, more emotionally intelligent, they have seen what's going on the market. It's very easy, super easy now. If I'm a prospect and I have booked call with Brian or with June, and I see, oh, Brian Choi, I have a book with him. I'm going to Google you straight away. And I see your podcast. And I will see what are you up to. And I will see how you are actually selling, right? And if you show up on that call doing the same thing to me, I'll be like, fuck off, man. Right? So they have access to those type of things. So when you jump on a call, it's not about being copy-paste of someone else. Because, until a certain level, it will take you. But then people that are a little bit smarter, you will not going to be able to make fool out of them.
So what should people do?
What should people do? First thing first, to understand that it's always learning. Do not discredit someone as a coach and do not put someone on a pedestal as a coach. Yeah. That's the best thing. Do not blindly follow one framework or one aspect. If we talk about a sales process, right? What is a sales process? Let's suppose when the sales marketing finishes and when the sales process starts. The moment when they book the call, right? When they book the call, what do you do before they show up on a call to maximize show rate and actually to keep them warm? Now, many people will say like, oh yeah, but that's marketing job. No, it's not. It's yours. Marketing job was for them to click and put their name in your calendar. That's where it finishes. What do you do if they book today and in 2 days from now on is the call? What do you do until then? How do you actually treat them, right? Are you sending a certain email? Do you introduce yourself? Do you reconfirm the call? What is it there? So that's one part of the process, right? Then the jump on a call, let's say, potentially. If you jump on a call, then you have the whole discovery process. Let's say you're doing a triage. When the triage starts, when the triage finishes, how much of an urgency you build up throughout that triage if you want them to show up on the next call. How do you diffuse a certain objections on the triage so you can present it there? So that's that part in setting the call for yourself, right? Then it goes to the sales process. You have the whole process there, discovering their situation, their problems, root cause of problems, eliminating potential objections, reframing their mind in a certain areas where they have conditioned themselves that it's something like that and does not serve them a purpose. Then you need to come to a point when you present the situation to them. How do you present situation your solution to them to suit their way of thinking and making decisions the best? Then after that, you have objection handling, right? Then if they don't close, you have a follow-up. Then you have a nurturing. How do you think if you just get one aspect of that, you're going to become good?
Yep.
You need to master all that points to become good. If someone said, I'm going to focus only on objection handling, good luck. If someone said, I'm going to focus only on framing them, and I'm not going to be, I'm not going to work on my objection handling, good luck. It's all together. It's a package. It's a process. If you want to build a building, you're not going to build a building if you just focus on the windows and the shiny windows around the building that we're going to make, or you cannot focus only on the branding. That building requires a base, foundation. It requires a metal structure, cement structure, and requires to build it up a full engineering, which includes everything. So become an engineer of your process. Do not become just a contractor for a certain job to be done. Become an engineer.
Yeah, that's what I see in the industry. It's always a versus thing, right? It's like, oh, pre-handling objection, just handle the objection. Oh, objection handling, just prevent the objection. Oh, I'm like, why does it have to be like a versus thing? Because if you just focus on like objection handling, now you're missing out on preventing and the follow-ups. But what if you did all of that?
Yeah.
Why not do that? Now you have like different streams of commissions. Now you have like sales from the follow-ups, from the one-call close, from the upsells, the front-end sales, and the referrals. Why would you rather have just one of those or all of those? If you could?
Yeah, but people need to understand that, and for that requires effort.
Of course,
it requires learning.
It's not sexy.
It's not sexy. No, it requires learning. It requires dedication. It requires commitment. It requires that. You cannot learn all of that at the same time. It's absolutely not. And for all those areas, you have different people and experts in all those areas. Why do not get the best of everyone that is the best in that part?
Yeah.
What sickens me the most is when I see those coaches are shooting themselves, pointing fingers in other people around, and how they present their thing is the best. No, it's not. You had success. Perfect. Great. I'm happy for you. Some of your clients had success. Perfect. I'm grateful for you. Help someone else to come to a certain success. But don't be fucking selfish and don't limit the people. If you really care about your clients, you shouldn't be never limiting them to your perspective only. There is not only one way to solve a problem.
Yeah.
There's never been only one way to solve a problem. There is always many ways to solve the problem. Why not learning all of them? Because you're shitting that maybe you will stay without a client? No, if you're good and if you actually add value and you actually know how to point people, okay, ours is finished. You know everything that I have teach you. Take you to the point. Let me actually introduce you to someone that will take you to a different level. That's called a real coach. Because let's go in sports. I was watching one video the other day. So this was back in probably, early 90s. So they hired a big, massive American football guy for a team. They paid him like $80,000 in that moment, signing bonus. And he needed to have he needed to pass the physical tests, right? One of the physical tests, it was chin-ups.
Yep.
And the guy was 280 pounds.
Big dude.
Big dude. He couldn't move 1 millimeter on the chin-up. He couldn't do absolutely anything. Now they know they paid everything, they've done everything. He need to pass the test in front of the boards so he can start playing. And the people that actually hired, the coach and everyone else, they're concerned now that he was not going to pass and all that money is gone that they have paid in that moment. So what happened? 12 days before the test come, they contacted a specialist that is specializing just in increasing of that explosive strength, so people can actually train their muscle fibers in a certain way how to actually come and start making the chin-ups. It took him 12 days, so the guy went on the test and make 4.5 chin-ups, which was just enough to pass the test in that moment. So what happened here? The head coach of the team, wanting to find a solution for his member, he just go and hired another coach. That's how you create a team. That's how you create a legacy. That's how you create, not by you are being the best. You're not. Fuck you, you're not. You're not, simply. Fuck your ego on the side. Like, no. You are the best in your thing, and that's it, in your thing. But overall, you're not, because it's combinations of things. And you should be learning, as a coach, consistently progressing to be learning the other things as well. So you can add another weapon into your coaching business.
100%. And that goes also for the sales people as well. Is okay, so this is my biggest weakness right now. This is where I'm losing the most sales to, right? First of all, and as a side note, people should be tracking their data. A lot of people are clueless about their data. They think they need to work on think about objections. In reality, they have 20 hours a week of literally empty space in their calendar. So maybe they need to do outbound or whatever, or vice versa, right? Or maybe to get a different offer, or they need to get better at that. But once they identify that, okay, I need to work on this first. Okay, so who's the best I feel or I think in that thing? Okay, go to that first. And then, so like you said, we never arrive, right? It's not like, oh, I got to 10K a month, 20K a month. Like, I've arrived. No, because if you even look at Bogdan, even to his point, he's like, okay, so what can I do better from here? Like, what's the next level? What's the next level? And you keep going.
Well, if people have no higher goals, it's absolutely fine. If people are content to making 10K, 15K a month, which is not bad, man. That's earning more money than 99% of the people in the world. It's not bad. Like, we are not ego-driven here. If that makes you have a content life, go with it, my man. It's absolutely fine. But if you want to present that you have a goals for a millionaire, don't show up actions like a fucking mediocre. So if you want to present that you have big goals and you want to be living in these nice villas there and driving supercars that you rented them for $200 a day, something like that. If you want to present that type of fucking lifestyle, put the action into it, right? If you really want to make 100K a month and you verbalize it out publicly, do it. And I'm sure that you can do it. Everyone can do it. I do not believe in stupid people. I do not believe, because
I think some people are stupid.
I mean, they behave stupid.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're taught. I'm not calling them stupid. I just said they have limited amount of resources in that moment. It's a limited amount, but the moment when they see something new, they learn a new learning, because it's impossible to stop learning. We're learning every day on another way. So really depends on, are we learning the shit and reconfirming the bullshit that does not serve us purpose anymore? Or are we learning something that will going to progress us to the next level? So if you are really that person that you want to portray yourself publicly, and that you say that I want to be this, and I'm going to come to that point, okay, that's absolutely fine. Again, you can do it. I believe in you. I believe that everyone can do it, unless you have some physical brain damage, something like that, so to be limited by nature, right? Then you just need to put the work in. And man, look at it in the Olympics, right? You see the Turkish
With the one pocket in the hand, he's like, yeah.
Shooting guy, no equipment, no anything.
Yeah.
He went and he did it. Which means if he could do that on 52 years old, started training shooting just because he was venting out the divorce of his wife, it was like literally got a silver medal on the Olympics, which most of the athletes in the world that never achieve. Everyone can do everything. Just you need to find a way, right? Find a way, expand your knowledge, grow. Don't limit yourself to one thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll see how progress happens.
Yeah. I believe that you cannot complain for things that you haven't done. Like, literally, like, I mean, for me, and for every one of you guys also, I'm pretty confident that I've dialed more outbound dials than 90% of the closers out there. I've invested a lot also in terms of different styles. Like, having this conversation right now reminds me of one of the trainings in Closer Code back in the days, where I remember I was watching this recording where Bat was conducting this training. It was just like training people on how to ask questions in a different way to get the same outcome. And we're like role playing also, like conversational flexibility. Like, yeah. I mean, a trick exposed is like it's done, you know. So you got to make sure that you have conversational flexibility enough to ask different type of questions to get the same outcome, right? And that reminds me of that also. I know there are some gurus out there right now that are salty with what we do here, actually. I actually know.
Do we have haters?
We have haters, actually. But the thing is, what I've noticed that I was one of those haters also. It's like, oh, I know that guy. And he's a sales guru right now, making 100K, 200K a month, like a millionaire right now. But I was one of those guys where, like that, if you think about that guy developed his own edge in terms of marketing, created his own opportunities, whether it's ethical or not, he did it though.
Yeah.
But I was the one complaining on Facebook, being like, oh, that guy is absolute shit. Like, I am better than him, like having this ego. But here's the thing. I'm a sales coach right now, I know. Like, I'm the, 290,000 sales coach. But if you look at my track record right now, I've been posting content every single day. I've been like doing this for quite some years also. So if you want to catch up and do the things that we're doing right now also, I challenge you guys to develop your edge. Like, for example, start posting like quality content every single day. Like, you cannot complain on things that you don't have, like you've never done, literally. Like, match their effort then. Match what they've done. See them. And if you really want to compete with them, like, do it. Like, literally do it. Do what we've done here. Like, start your own podcast or just don't stay in comments and be like, oh, my guru's methodology is so best and your guru's methodology is shit. Don't, why are you wasting time on Facebook comments? Like, literally, Facebook is for trolling. Facebook is for fucking trolling.
That reminds me on those people that are committed to a certain political party, you know? They shoot each other for the cause of their own party. You know, they will not gonna get a shit from that party. We know that the politicians are fucking like the biggest monkeys in the world, right? They never do anything good for the society. I never see in one political party in any type of modern country that have done something good for the people. From year to year goes from wars to wars to wars to wars to wars, and you will see those ships of followers being there and shooting to the other people. Oh no, you have that leader. No, you're bad. Oh, this. They change roles every 4 years, every 5 years, and everything's the same. The behavior is the same. When are those people going to wake up? Never. So if you're doing the same by following your guru without being open to actually see different perspectives from other people, you're just damaging yourself. Look, I don't have against anyone and anything in this industry. I don't have. They all have proven results for themselves and proven results for their clients, right? However, as I will mention again, your way is not the only way.
Yeah.
And stop lying to yourself, because I know that you're lying yourself. If you tell me that you are completely convinced that your way is the best way, I know you're lying to yourself. You're just hiding your cowardice to admit that there is something that might be even better.
Yeah.
You're just being a pussy, you know. So I want this industry to thrive. At the moment, it's becoming toxic. I want to thrive because I want those young people, instead of involving themselves in drugs, instead of involving themselves with stupid society tells me shit to do, instead of being suffering their own countries, because I'm coming from quite a poor country, I want them to know that there is a solution. There is a way how to actually have a better life, how to hang out between the good influencing people rather than just being stuck. So I want everyone to be progressing. Why not making this industry great and just dissolve all the bad reputation that was done since 70s, 60s, that sales reps are liars and manipulators, but to become something great and we can help the society in general while making money, while helping so many people doing different things. And we're not going to be able to do this until we unite, until we start being all on the same table. Before, several years ago, there were different sales coaches making this, let's say, joint ventures, and they were helping people a lot. You would see in that moment having Matt Ryder, Jeremy Miner, and Eli Wild, and someone else from the coach, Taylor Welch, and they're doing like a mastermind for 3 days, 4 days, or something else. Those people that came salespeople from that time are really good now.
Yep.
Now it's not happening. Why is it not happening? Ego. Because no, maybe someone will take a piece from my coaching business. I'm not going to make enough money. Yeah, you learned, you found a way how to make money until now in your coaching business. I'm sure you will find a different way. But stop being afraid. Stop your ego. Go some heroic dose of DMT. Get your ego checked, and that's it. I don't know. Do some ayahuasca. Like whatever it needs to be done. Or heroic dose of mushrooms. Done everything. Get your ego dissolved and come back from a place of serving.
And how do you see ego, Brian? Like, how do you see ego hurting in terms of, like, you're the sales activity guy. How do you see ego, like, I guess, not serving sales activity side, I guess, for salespeople?
Yeah. First of all, I feel like I'm watching the presidential campaign right now. I feel Bogdan should be running for the president because like we should unite. It's like Obama is like America. So I do agree though, for sure.
I worked in politics for a very long time. Being a journalist, I work in politics, and I don't like that life there.
Yeah, of course.
I don't like. And this, by seeing that, I can compare what is happening right now in the moment, because people are creating tribes. It's good, it's good to have followers, but you need to. If you're a sales rep, remember this: are you going to be in a flock of sheep and being a sheep? Or are you going to be a wolf? So let me make a little bit of distinction. Sheep follow the shepherd, right? The shepherd is there, and the shepherd is there who can protect them here and there, but the sheep follow the shepherd. And they were always going to be sheep. But sheep by itself, if you get lost in the forest, you're not going to survive. Wolves, they work in team as well. They work in tribe, very good, where wolf is a wolf, there is a leader, and everyone works together, everyone protects everyone works for everyone to become better. And a wolf, if by any chance get lost in the forest, it will survive on its own. So that's the difference, that's my tattoo of wolf here, right? That's the difference between what type of a follower you are. Are you a follower that you could survive by yourself? Or you're a follower just blindly following your shepherd and just being a sheep, and if you go out, you get eaten by a cat, nothing else.
Yep, 100%. And
talk about, Brian, all the time, is be a shark. Go get it if you want.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, as cliche it sounds like a lot of salespeople lack the mentality of, if I want it, I'll go get it. Like, cliche is cliche for a reason. I talk about it all the time. Like, if you want it, go get it. But in terms of activity, like, how much is ego like holding people back, would you say?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, life in general. The reason why I love sales is this, because it kind of reminds me of the dating community. Because before I got into sales, how I started learning communication skills was me getting into dating community, because I was 19. I was like probably one of the lowest moments in my life because I didn't have any friends. I was a virgin. I couldn't get any girls. Never got attention from girls. And then that kind of does a lot to, at least for my confidence. And so because of that, I got into the dating community too. I wanted to get laid, lose my virginity. But what I learned during the process was that almost like getting laid is the lead magnet, but what I learned during the process, like, oh, I gotta learn how to like look people in the eye. I gotta learn how to like speak louder. I gotta learn how to like.
You learned how to speak louder.
Oh, 100%. Very too loud at this point. And then learn how to like stutter less, how to enunciate the words better, and how to like read the person's social cues and like how this person's reacting. And so during that, and like you go through shit. You're like, oh man, I got rejected for the 50 times. This girl told me to fuck off, but it develops thick skin. Same thing as sales as we get in because we want to make more money. Oh, laptop, lifestyle, location, freedom, fucking fantastic. But what I learned is during that time, you learn a lot about yourself. Because going back to ego is, okay, so the person said, think about it, but you learn how to manage the emotions you feel, right? I don't say your emotions because it's almost like now you're owned by the emotions, but emotions you feel because we're all human beings. We have chemicals inside of our body. Yeah. Fucking normal. That's your expertise, right? And so during that process, you learn how to calm the fuck down, learn how to deal with the emotions you feel, and be more stoic, be more objective. And so after you think about objections, you learn how to put the ego to the side that, yes, sometimes people don't buy. I'm not saying be okay with that and just be content with that. Yes, learn the skills, but skill sets take time. So after that call, and this is a really, like, I used to go through this a lot. I'm still learning about this. Like, it's nothing fucking personal. You move on. You call that person again. And here's what I see a lot is people feel uncomfortable following up with the lead that said, let me think about it, or whatever the objection they give them. Because they're like, what if I'm bothering this person? Or, what if this person says no again? That's ego. But in the grand scheme of things, how many of your prospects are going to come to your wedding? How many of your prospects are going to show up to your funeral? You know? So Hermosa said this too. If you zoom far enough from the earth, it's just a small dot in the galaxy, in different universes, or whatever you believe in. And so when you call that person, well, at the end of the day, you just talk to that person. And so you put your ego to the side and learn how to do that, right? Same thing with any conversation. So that's how I feel like. And because if you have that ego, you have a choice, right? You can decide to have that ego and have less money in your bank account, or you can put that ego to the side and have a 1% chance of helping that person and making more money. What I always say is this. I love this saying, which is you'll make more money and help more people being more needy and more pushy than being timid, passive, and not persistent.
I mean, any action is better than no action.
100%. And I'm not saying be like a super aggressive car salesman, but no, it's at least if you're persistent, nobody cares at the end of the day.
Just do something,
Yeah.
right? Just get yourself, put yourself in the weeds. You know, there is no better learning than actually experiencing it by ourselves.
100%.
I mean, there's no nobility in learning. There's nobility in earning, though.
Yeah.
Creating results at the end of the day. Like, if you're like exactly, if you have 8 hours working hours per day, that's not your learning hours. Learning is not going to get you anywhere. Like, you'll learn more in terms of outbound dialing. You know, in terms of actually getting a second offer, getting rejected by people that interview you, also, or even get like doing so much that you're like getting burned out. That's where you learn actually your limits there, like what you're actually going through, you know. And I think just sidetracking here, one of the things that really got me detached from the emotions is actually tracking my numbers also.
Yep.
It's like, let's say I do 100 dials and I get 20 pickups, and let's say I set like 3 or 5, then that's my normal rate. Then like, let's say I get 17 like fuck yous. Like, if I got 3 sets, then I've just hit my quota, KPI. Like, I don't have to be like, oh, this guy said fuck you, and just get hung up with one call, one bad call. No, it's just a numbers game at the end of, like, in terms of this, it's a numbers game. Like, if you're doing outbound because you're scared, like follow-ups. Like, the thing is, even with follow-ups, like sending a GIF or just calling that person gives you a 0.01% chance of winning than you not doing anything. And like, what, you're gonna have a girl come to you and say hi? Like, you're a dude, come on, or you're a dude, or you're a gal also, but you go get your own opportunity. Like, literally, like, this, again, if you want something, go fucking get it. Like, why are you playing defense when the best defense is offense in this industry?
Yeah. You know what? This is the funny part. People really are very self-centered, right? They're really self-centered about me. it's not about the prospect, right? So this is a real thing what happened recently, probably in the last few days, in the last thing. I had a prospect, the call went well, or I want to believe that it went well. Then we had like a follow-up call. It was a big investment. It's not
No, I know what you're talking about.
20K. And this is the thing. I follow up with him 1 month, second month, third month, like it's coming there. And he was always telling me, I need to do the due diligence. I mean, and I was consistently here, like, how can I help you to make your due diligence? Tell me what exactly do you need from my side so I can help you to make your due diligence. Like, what is specifically that you need, right? And he was asking me, this document sent, this document sent, this document sent, good standing certificate, tax returns, everything, because it's a bigger project that I was working. And in one moment, I've noticed that the guy is fearful, and he said, like, it's a big investment, I need to be very careful. And then it came out of point, like, there is nothing else for him to ask more because I have delivered everything. And then I called him again. And he was like, yeah, man, maybe I should talk with some of your investors there and something else. And I was like, cool, man. Look, we have been going back and forth for a while now. Let's say 3-4 months. I already gave you absolutely everything. I have no problem with connecting you with already existing investor. But that investor invests because he doesn't have time. And if he doesn't have time, I really want to be respectful of his time. Now, when you go and speak with the investor, right? What is it that you want to ask? Cool, this and this and this I want to ask. Cool, do you think I'm going to send you a good one or bad one, like as an example? Oh, of course you're going to send me a good one. And I was like, cool. You know that if it comes from my side, it's going to be good. So how is that going to help you in this situation? Yeah, but I still want, cool. We went back and forth, no problem. And I was like, we can do that. Actually, I sent him a text after and I was like, let me go and speak because I need to speak with the investors first if they are willing to talk. And then I went back, I was like, I'm going to get you someone to talk with. But this is, let's put the big boy pants on. And this is the last resource that I can provide you unless you need anything else. No, I don't need anything else. And I was like, if he answers all of your questions and you get all of this type of thing, what type of commitment do we have later on? And he got mad. Dude got mad. Oh, now I don't trust you anymore. He was looking for a way to run away, right? Yep. So I could let my ego hit in. And it's like I did a 4 months work for nothing, right? I don't want to do this. And in that one moment, he was like, maybe I should talk with someone else from your company. I could have been egoistic and I was like, no, you're not going to talk. You're not a good fit and all like what many people do, right? Yeah. I was like, yeah, probably you should. I think that we fell off track here right now in the moment. Let me make an introduction right now in the moment. I called my colleague and I was like, dude, go to the history of the notes. You have all the calls. I'm gonna tell you this person it is. This is what is happening. It is what is happening. Go, I'm gonna make an introduction. I made the introduction. They went together. He already knew what type of person. He took a different perspective on this type of thing. The guy paid close to share the commissions. That's a fucking teamwork. That's when you put the ego on the side and you don't give up on someone that you know that you can help them, right? Even if things go sideways, there is always a remedy. Yeah. There is always a way. So there is no ego. Oh man, you close it, I didn't close it, or I close it, you didn't close it. No man, let's work like a team here together.
I remember this incident also where I called you, I think 3 years ago, where I was like, hey, Brian, I stood my ground. This woman would never turn on her camera, so I kicked her out of my Zoom call, That was what the guru told me to do, So I did that, and you're like, dude, good for you for standing your ground, but bro, like, where's the commissions, though? Just why not just talk with the lady and see if there's a sale to be made? I was like, you feel like you can win the battle, but you never won the war because of my ego. And I was like, that makes full sense. Like, because at the end of the day, the victory for both sides is getting the sale, not like fucking how your ego get in the way of this woman is not committed, so I got to kick her out of my Zoom call because she didn't turn on the video. I was like, it's the same thing, right? Like, you valued the war more than your own ego battle, right? Because I was also, one instance was I was selling econ coaching and there was this guy who was like, text, like after a call, like objection handling call, and that like if the prospect doesn't buy, you would send a message, like a long ass message saying, oh, you said no to your kids, you're never gonna be XYZ. And I was like, okay, well, and everyone was like, wow, you're very direct. Wow, that's so cool. And I asked him, okay, does people actually message you back after this? And he said, no, I'm just trying to fulfill my ego. It's an ego thing. And I was like, okay, well, good for you. It just seems like it doesn't work, so I'm not gonna go that way, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, that like your advice in terms of like winning the war gave me a lot of perspective in terms of it's not about saying what I want to say or do what I want to do. It's really about them. Like it's really about just having them allow them to really help me, you know? And like, for example, like I guess that's why you outbound dial as well, because you're coming from a place of not only just hitting your KPIs, but you also want to just connect and help them also if you can.
Yeah, and like nobody forced me to do outbound or follow-ups. There was like no KPI for closers because the closer's job apparently is just to take the calls. I'm just like, but I just called them and I dialed more than most of the SDRs on the team, and I was a closer on top of the sales call. But I like what you did there with setting your ego, so sending to your colleague, because on my last company, I have a few of those instances also, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I did all the work, I did the follow-ups, I had similar situations like that, but all of a sudden this person, hey, I want to talk to a different person. At first, I was like, what the fuck? Then later on, I'm like, okay, no worries. And then I'll hit up someone from my team on Slack. I was like, hey, man, so this person, same thing. On notes, all is there. What I did was, hey, keep all the commissions. If you close them, just teach me how you did it.
I said the same. You keep the commission. He was like, no, man, you did all the job. I'll give you this. Like, it's a team, right? I didn't ask for that. Why this was productive? Because I wasn't thinking about me and my commissions. I was thinking about helping that prospect. Go over his own fucking shit he's had, right? Yeah. So it was there. I helped. And when you think that way, there is no ego, which means there is no attachment to an outcome, and you have way better results like that than no results. At the end of the day, my colleague shouldn't give me a commission because I said like go and just take over from here. He shouldn't, but it was win-win situation. So still, I made some money. You know, maybe not the money that I wanted or I could get if I did, but I shit the bed in that moment, fell off track with this, probably didn't do something right, but I remedy that. And I get it. So I worked for the good of the company. The company has the sale directly. I worked for the good of the prospect. The prospect has the results and has the opportunities. It's not me in the picture. There is no me because 100%. I do not exist.
Yeah. So this says a lesson in terms of even closer like Blobok that even follows up. Like there's no ego. Like even he gets objections also, but it's not about handling objections all the time with ego also or slapping people around. It's really about what's the best decision like you can make as a closer and what's the best decision they can make and facilitating that at the end of the day. And you have to wrap this up also.
I'll say this also, and it's because it's kind of a cheat code because you do all the work and you hand it off to your coworker or your team member, and then at that point it's a very easy part for the team member because like you explain what kind of prospect they are, what kind of personality they are, so all they have to do is like yeah no problem, like answer questions and then make the sale. So I've had that happen with vice versa, where like someone from my team, like another rep would have that. He's like, hey Brian, you just want to talk to him. I was like, all right, cool. And then I close and then we split commissions and I'll send them. And at that point I'm like, it doesn't matter if they're lower than me on the leaderboard. I still said, hey, if you close that person, teach me exactly how you did it. Yeah. Because that's how you think long term. Short term is like, fucking the commissions, all the work. But long term, but what can I learn? What did this guy do? But if you do that, then I found that it helps your overall progression. So thank you for tuning in, staying for this long. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, share it with your sales homies. We'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.